One stormy night, a strange woman came to our house, holding a baby close to her chest. The rain was pouring hard and she looked tired and desperate. She asked for shelter, and my father, being a kind man, let her stay. We spread a mat for her and the baby in the compound where we all slept under the stars. At first, everything seemed normal. The woman said little. The baby seemed peaceful, just lying there wrapped in his blanket. But after a few nights, strange things started to happen. I noticed that the leftover food we kept in the kitchen disappeared overnight. Each morning, I would check and it was gone. One night, I couldn't sleep. I lay on the mat staring at the stars, listening to the sounds of the night. Then I heard something, like a growling sound coming from the direction of the baby. I slowly sat up and looked. What I saw froze me in fear. The baby, who should have been sleeping, was crawling across the mat toward the leftover food. But there was something wrong with the way he moved. His tiny hands dragged across the ground and his body jerked like something was pulling him. I watched, terrified, as he reached the food and began eating, tearing at it with his little hands, stuffing his mouth in a way that no baby should. His dark, cold eyes stared right at me and I couldn't move. I was too scared to even scream. The next morning, I told my father what I had seen, but he didn't believe me. "You must have been dreaming," he said, laughing it off. "Babies don't eat like that." But the strange things didn't stop. The food continued to disappear. At night, I heard the same growling sound. My father began to notice it too. He heard the noises and saw the missing food. His face grew serious each day and he stopped laughing. He finally agreed that something was wrong. We decided to consult the village soothsayer. She lived deep in the forest and everyone said she knew things that no one else did. When we told her about the baby and the strange things happening in our house, her voice grew dark. "This is no ordinary child," she said. "This baby is a chuchuru, a spirit that comes in the form of a baby to hunt and harm. If you do not take him back to the Chuchuru mountains, your family will be in danger." Hearing this sent a chill down my spine. That very night, we wrapped the baby in his blanket and carried him to the Chuchuru mountains, just as the soothsayer told us to do. The wind howled as we climbed, and the night seemed darker than usual. When we reached the mountains, we placed the baby on a cold stone and left him there alone under the night sky. The next day, the strange woman who had been quiet all along confessed. With tears in her eyes, she told us that the baby was not hers. She had stolen him from another village because she was barren and could not have children of her own. She thought she could keep the baby and raise him as her own, but now she regretted everything. The fear and guilt had become too much for her. After that, the strange occurrences stopped. The house felt peaceful again, and the nightmares that had haunted me finally faded. But the memory of the baby, those cold, dark eyes and the way he moved in the night would never leave me. It's a reminder that sometimes things we don't understand can bring danger into our lives. Some spirits, like the Chuchuru, should never be invited into your home. Never.